Hush now and listen close. Draw near to the fire and let the shadows dance. These old timbers have stories to tell, of kings, queens and empires built to touch the heavens. But the tales that matter most are not of glory, but of ruin, of betrayal whispered in the dark. 1,000 loyal swords cannot protect a king from a single traitorous word. Power is fragile. A crown is heavy with fear. Dynasties are promises written in blood, and blood can be spilled. The grandest houses can fall to the quietest betrayal. It is the trusted friend, the loyal brother, who holds the sharpest blade. Their treachery cuts deeper than any enemy's steel, turning trust to ash and loyalty to a bitter jest. Tonight, we walk the haunted halls of history, where broken oaths still echo. Forget grand battles, the true wars are fought in silence in the hearts of men. The fall of a great house begins not with a roar, but with the whisper of a dagger. Listen well, for in these tales of treachery lies a truth as old as time. The true danger often lies within, smiling to your face while sharpening the knife behind your back. These are the stories of how dynasties die, not with a bang, but with the quiet, devastating finality of shattered trust. Our first tale takes us to Rome, a city of marble and might, ruled by Julius Caesar. Caesar, conqueror and statesman, held the republic in his grasp. His power seemed absolute. But power breeds envy. In the Senate, whispers slithered. Men who once called Caesar friend now saw him as a tyrant. They feared the title of king and saw Caesar's ambition as a threat to their liberty. Among the conspirators was Marcus Junius Brutus, whom Caesar loved as a son. Brutus was torn. He respected Caesar but loved Rome more, or so he told himself. The whispers of Cassius and others worked on him, painting Caesar as a disease and themselves as the cure. Brutus chose betrayal as his sword of justice. The Ides of March arrived. Caesar, ignoring warnings, walked into the Senate and into a trap. He saw the faces of friends, his beloved Brutus, and then the glint of steel. 23 times the daggers struck, but it was Brutus's blow that truly killed him. Et tu, Brute? Not a question, but a final, heartbroken realization. With that betrayal, Caesar fell, and with him the dream of his dynasty. Rome plunged into civil war, burning for years, ultimately consuming the republic the traitors claimed to save. The lesson, the gravest threat to power, often comes from within, not without. The Senate's act of betrayal did not restore freedom. It destroyed the very thing they sought to protect. In the end, Caesar's death paved the way for an Emperor Augustus to rule Rome with even greater authority. The serpent in the Senate did not save Rome, it doomed it. Betrayal, once unleashed, cannot be controlled. The Republic died not on the battlefield, but in the shadows of its own halls. Journey east to ancient China's three kingdoms, Wei, Shu and Wu. In Wu, Sun Quan ruled, his power built on alliances, especially with Shu and its legendary general Guan Yu. Guan Yu, guardian of Jing province, was the bedrock of the alliance. But ambition crept in. Sun Quan and his advisor Lu Meng coveted Jing province. The alliance frayed. Trust was sacrificed for expansion. While Guan Yu campaigned against Wei, Wu struck. Lu Meng's forces seized Jing province by subterfuge. Guan Yu, caught off guard, was captured and executed. This betrayal shattered the Shu-Wu alliance, crippling Shu and dooming both kingdoms. Wu's treachery did not bring victory. It broke the balance, paving the way for the Jin dynasty's conquest. The lesson: betrayal for short-term gain often leads to long-term ruin. The fall of a house begins with the breaking of a single bond. In the end, all three kingdoms fell, undone by the poison of mistrust. Now into the mists of myth, ancient Mycenae, the house of Atreus. Their dynasty was devoured by a cycle of vengeance and betrayal. Atreus' monstrous revenge on his brother Thyestes cursed his bloodline. Agamemnon, Atreus' son, sacrificed his daughter for victory at Troy, sealing his doom. His wife, Clytemnestra, and her lover Aegisthus plotted revenge, murdering Agamemnon on his return. The curse demanded more. Orestes, Agamemnon's son, avenged his father by killing his own mother. The house collapsed into madness and ruin, its halls silence forever. The lesson treachery, once unleashed, consumes everything it touches. A dynasty built on betrayal is doomed to fall. Return to England, 14th century. King Edward II sat on a crumbling throne. Weak, surrounded by favourites, he alienated his lords and his queen, Isabella of France. Isabella, humiliated and stripped of power, found an ally and lover in Roger Mortimer. Together, they plotted rebellion, gathering an army to overthrow Edward. In 1326, they invaded. The kingdom, weary of Edward, rose to support them. The king's authority collapsed. His favourites were executed. Edward fled, was captured and forced to abdicate in favour of his son. Isabella and Mortimer ruled as regents, but the Plantagenet line was broken. Edward met a gruesome end in a dungeon, a king undone not by foreign foes, but by betrayal at home. The lesson, a crown lost not in battle, but through the slow poison of personal betrayal. Even the mightiest dynasty can be shattered from within. The trust between ruler and ruled, once broken, is nearly impossible to restore. Betrayal leaves scars that last for generations. What drives betrayal? Motives are as complex as the human heart. Brutus saw himself as a patriot, cloaking envy and fear in the language of duty. Sun Quan's ambition outweighed loyalty. Betrayal became a tool for power. For some, like Clytemnestra, betrayal is born from love twisted into hate, a wound that demands vengeance. Isabella's rebellion was fueled by humiliation and neglect. Righteousness, ambition, vengeance, these motives intertwine, justifying treason in the traitor's mind. The conspirator believes he acts for the people, the usurper for destiny, the vengeful spouse for justice. Betrayal rarely wears a monstrous face. It is the face of a friend, a brother, a lover. The traitor is always the hero of his own dark tale. This is what makes betrayal so insidious. It comes from those closest to us. When the king is dead and the traitor stands triumphant, what remains? The consequences of betrayal ripple outward, poisoning nations for generations. Caesar's murder unleashed civil war, destroying the republic and paving the way for an emperor. Guan Yu's betrayal shattered alliances, dooming both Wu and Shu to conquest. The house of Atreus was annihilated by its own cycle of vengeance. Betrayers believe they can control chaos, but they are always wrong. The fall of a dynasty leaves a wound in the state, a vacuum filled by war and instability. Trust, once broken, cannot be easily mended. The ghosts of fallen thrones are not just dead kings, but the lingering spectres of mistrust and violence. Betrayal's legacy is chaos, not victory. The fire dwindles and our tales draw to a close. From Rome to China, Greece to England, the story is the same. A whisper, a plot, a betrayal, and ruin. These are not just stories of the past, they are mirrors reflecting the fragility of power and loyalty. A king's greatest strength is trust. When broken, his power rots from within. The wise ruler must guard not just against enemies, but against resentment among friends. Ambition, envy, and the desire for power still drive betrayal today. The names change, but the heart of the betrayer remains the same. Remember Caesar, Guan Yu, Agamemnon. Let their fates be a lesson. Be worthy of the trust placed in you, for history shows the mightiest can fall to a single broken oath. The cold touch of a traitor's hand is the end of every dynasty.